Yo, what is going on, you guys? bashtianygo here, and today I'm going to be coming at you with my Chimera Mythical Beast Illusion deck profile for you guys. I'm trying to keep it as pure as possible for you, so we are strictly using cards that fit this theme, and also a few engines that help us reach polymerization, which I'll show you guys in just a little bit. So I've seen a lot of deck profiles online with this deck. Primarily, they are mixed with branded cards, but I want to go ahead and kind of step away from that a little bit to see what else we could do with just the deck itself. As far as competitive viability goes, I would highly recommend putting the branded stuff in here if that's more or less what you're looking for. For you guys want to go ahead and have some fun, play some extremely casual duels with your buddies, you want to go ahead and relive like the anime moments in a more extreme way, this is definitely going to be a really cool deck for you guys. Has some really cool one-card combos for you guys. If you guys want to check those out, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll do a quick combo tutorial for you guys. Without further ado, let's get right into the deck profile. So here we are, guys. We are going to be checking out this awesome profile. So like I said, I want to go ahead and keep this as pure as possible. I tried the branded stuff. Obviously, it makes it a lot more impactful, a lot more competitive, but I feel like using the branded stuff, it's just a branded deck with some other engine pieces that don't really help the overall branded strategy be better. So that's kind of my dilemma right here. If you want to play a competitive fusion deck, you might as well just play the branded Despy as it is without the Chimera stuff. If you're looking to go ahead and play this deck, this is going to be the profile for you. So you're going to start things off with one copy of Gazelle, King of Mythical Beast, and one copy of Baphomet. You want to play one of each copy because there's a card in here called Chimera Fusion. Actually, just go ahead and special summon both these guys out for free, and then you can go ahead and go into some other places with that. Also, it just gives you additional bodies, so in the event you need to go into a link play, it allows you to do that as well. So that's really cool. I thought that was awesome that you are able to play the vanilla and the original Baphomet in the deck without it being total bricks, so that's nice as well. Next, we're playing to the brand new cards, guys. We have 3 copies of Mirror Swords Knight and 3 copies of Cornfield Codal. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. So Cornfield Codal is a 1-card combo. What this card allows you to do is pitch it to search any monster that mentions the name Chimera Fusion, which is the new spell. So you pitch this card to go ahead and search out your Mirror Knight, normal summon the Mirror Knight. Mirror Knight has an effect that lets you do tributes. That allows you to special summon from deck a monster that mentions Chimera Fusion, which is actually so cool because we got 2 monsters we can definitely go ahead and do that with. We have the new Gazelle, King of Mythical Claws, and we got the big winged Baphomet. I personally prefer summoning the Baphomet because the big difference between the Baphomet and the Gazelle is that the Baphomet on special summon adds you a level 4 lower beast and or Chimera Fusion, which is really good in the event that, well, first of all, I like how it says and or, so it doesn't force you to search out one or the other. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility there, which is nice. But what I primarily like about it is that it gives you 2 searches for the price of 1. Whereas Gazelle, when you summon him, all it does is adds you a level 5 Fiend monster. So you're going to be searching out Baphomet, but then you don't have the Chimera Fusion hand. However, if that is your normal summon, you still get to go ahead and add to your hand and go to some polymerization plays. So after that, guys, we do have 2 copies of Edgem Chain because we are playing the Fright for package in here to make sure that we are able to fusion summon. We play 9 fusion cards in this deck. We will be fusion summoning like crazy, and all of them are searchable, which is absolutely fantastic, except for Super Polymerization, but we'll get to that in a second. 3 copies of Ash Blossom and 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird, the most impactful hand traps in the current game right now. Nibiru is fantastic, but every deck plays around it. I don't think many decks can necessarily play around Droll and Lockbird unless you're Pirelli, so that is something that you're gonna want to take into consideration, of course, right? And that's gonna be it for the monsters, guys. 20 monsters, really all you need. Ash hits everything, Droll hits most of everything, so you're good to go from there. For the spells, we played 3 copies of Triple Tactics Talents. So Talents is actually super key in this deck because you need board breakers, right? So this deck is actually pretty good going first or second. It's actually pretty decent doing either or. But I think going second, having the Triple Tactics Talent and along with Book of Moon in the main deck, it just allows you to go ahead and play into boards that are going to be very impressive. For example, if you're going up in the more competitive format, right? Your opponent's definitely going to be activating monster effects during your turn. So that's going to be essentially key, right? Because whatever you summon, let's say you go up against Pirelli, the Pirelli Nor is going to go ahead and get rid of it, and you activate Talents, and you're good to go from there. Or just Book of Moon, whatever your opponent has, and go ahead and go by your plays. 3 copies of Polymerization along with 3 copies of Fright for Patchwork. I would very much consider playing King of the Swamp in here, but I just thought it's really overkill at that point. I mean, we're going to be seeing Super Polymerization regardless. so it wasn't really necessary. 3 copies of Super Polymerization, which I thought was a lot of fun to go ahead and put in here because, of course, we are wanting to fusion summon, and this allows us to not only fusion summon, it is a fantastic board breaker as well, being that your opponent can neither player can activate cards in response to this card. So essentially it is a free board breaker you can definitely go ahead and use. Another one you can play, guys, if you want, you can try out Dark Luna more. It just doesn't do that much, and this deck itself is not essentially built to start breaking a whole bunch of annoying boards, so that is something to take into consideration. It's a lot easier just super poly everything away. Next, you play 3 copies of Chimera Fusion, which is an insanely cool card. It's a quick play fusion, which already love it. Quick play fusion that during the main phase lets you fusion summon using monsters from your hand or field as materials. That's important. It does not have to be specifically on the field. You can use hand and field, which means you can summon Guardian Chimera with this card, which is another Chimera monster, which means it is synergistic with what we're trying to do here, which is awesome. So what this allows you to do essentially is during your main phase of cards in your graveyard, you can add it back to your hand, or you can banish this card from the graveyard and special summon 1 Gazelle and 1 Baphomet from your deck and or graveyard. So you go ahead and summon out these 2 guys out. That way you have not only super poly fodder if you need to go ahead and do that. So you have a dark monster, you have a beast monster, you can go play off that as well. You have earth, so if your opponent has different types or attributes, you definitely go ahead and play off that. But it also allows you to get additional link fodder in the event you want to go that route as well. So that's going to be it for the majority of fusions. I do play 1 Monster Reborn in here. I felt really nostalgic. I haven't put Monster Reborn in deck profile in forever. And you know, it's essentially a Yugi deck, and you know, Yugi always top deck Monster Reborn whenever he needs it. So we got to go ahead and slap it in here. It doesn't do anything for you. So if you guys want to go ahead and take this out and add a 3rd copy of Baphomet or a 3rd Gazelle, whatever it might be, that's perfectly fine as well. I consider playing a pot card, but again, consistency is already there, so it's not necessary. So there you go. And then 1 copy of Caught by the Grave, just because, of course, playing around the hand traps is inconvenient, so to say the least. Also, it's fantastic going up against a lot of decks, so you know, 1 Caught by the Grave. Go on to the extra deck though. It's a little bit more interesting. We're gonna start off with the Chimera cards. We put 2 copies of Guardian Chimera, 1 copy of Chimera the Illusion Beast, and 2 copies of Chimera the King of Phantom Beasts. So this is going to be a really cool card that allows you to rip a card from your opponent's hand, which is absolutely, and I think is really good. Because ripping cards from your opponent's hand wasn't necessarily good in the previous, like 3 formats ago, back when Tearlament was a thing, because of course you just send whatever they have to the graveyard, and they just go clean off from there. So it wasn't good, but now that that's not really a thing, you're a lot more in the clear. So I actually really like this effect. The Chimera, the Illusion Magical Beast, is kind of just like a stepping stone, because his name becomes the Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beast, which we do not play because this card doesn't really make sense to play, even though we can play. If you guys want to play this card for nostalgia reasons, I would take out 1 Garura, slap this in, but it's not really going to do much for you guys. Next, we play 1 copy of Mirror Jade, in case you are going up against the branded decks and you want to summon normal summon Fallen of Albaz and try to fusion summon. You fusion summon with it, and then you're good to go from there. Now you have a Mirror Jade, which I think is really funny. Next, you have 1 copy of Magnum the Reliever, of course, to go ahead and shuffle back your polymerizations, get you a draw power as well. Also has really cool effects, nice stats on it, not a bad card at all. Next, play 1 Starving Venom for a super poly target, 1 Dragostapelia, 2 Garura, and 1 Mud Dragon of the Swamp. Like I said, if you guys want to take out 1 Garura, go ahead and get your original Chimera in the deck. By all means, go for it. Nostalgia reasons, or if you want to go ahead and slap like a Zeus in here, that's perfectly valid reason as well. For the Xyz, I just play 1 for which is Baguska. I considered playing number 5. In the deck, because we do play level 5 monsters. It just doesn't really come up that we actually have 2 level 5 monsters on board, although this is a pretty cool card with some cool effects, but I mean, I digress. Next, for the 2 link monsters that we do play, we play 1 copy of Krashi, because we're fusion summoning, and special summoning from a deck is nice because then we get to have additional fodder. So basically, you make the Krashi be fusion summoned into one of its zones, then you activate the effect of Krashi, special summon 1 from the graveyard, and then you get to go ahead and make at least a 3 Mature Appaloosa. So synergy, synergy, synergy. But that's gonna be it for the profile, guys. Honestly, I think this deck's a lot of fun. Is it competitive? Nope. But I mean, pure variants of this deck I don't think are actually very competitive, but it's a lot of fun to play. Like I said, it's extremely nostalgic, which is, I mean, Konami really did a good job as far as making this deck as best as possible with like the 3 or 4 card slots it had. Because I mean, the fusions are decent. The Gazelle and Baphomet reworks are really good. The Cornfield Kodo and Mirror Sword Knight are actually really good because they're both 1-card combos, so that's definitely nice. And Chimera Fusion, just a cherry on top, making a quick play spell, just awesome card to be able to go ahead and activate during either player's turn, and I just couldn't ask for anything better, to be honest. I think it's really cool, and I'm really excited to see what other support this type of deck gets. I know we're getting more support for it in, I think it's Age of Overlord, which should be the next set. So I don't know, I'm just excited for it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Are you guys going to be picking this deck up? Let's go ahead and talk about it. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.